Magic Johnson was a defining player of the 1980s. He led the Showtime Lakers to 5 championships during his time in Los Angeles. He was known on the court for his flashy passes, fast-paced offense, and being an abnormally large point guard who could play multiple positions. Off the court, however, he was known for being a huge partier who attracted thousands of women to him. Magic, since retirement, has been known as a prominent businessman who owned prominent movie theaters, a stake of the Dodgers, and eventually made his way back to the Lakers as team president. Magic has been in the spotlight for over 40 years, yet there is still a lot that people don't know about him. Magic Johnson was born Irvin Johnson Jr. in Lansing, Michigan on August 14, 1959. He was born into a working-class family with 9 siblings. His parents often worked long hours yet still cared for the family, and Magic admired their work ethic. He also loved basketball from a young age, idolizing Bill Russell, Earl Monroe, and Marquise Haynes. Irvin went to primarily white Everett High School, where his older siblings had many instances of racism towards them, including rocks thrown at their primarily black bus. Not much was different for Irvin, as he was angry with the team, as many of his white teammates were unhappy playing with him, and they even refused to pass the ball to him sometimes and almost got into a fight with one of his teammates. Despite this, Irvin was regarded as the best player on the team and was loved by fans of Everett. He reflected on his time in high school positively. In his sophomore year, a local sports writer named Fred Stabley Jr. gave him the nickname Magic after he recorded a triple-double. However, tragedy stuck going into his senior year when his best friend, Reggie Chastain, was killed in a car accident, devastating Magic, who ran home and cried after hearing that his best friend had died. Reggie helped make Magic into the person he is today and gave him confidence that Magic was lacking back then, on and off the court. Magic decided he would dedicate his senior season to his best friend. In that year, Magic dominated and became known statewide for his scoring and playmaking, and averaged 29 points and 17 rebounds a game. His team went 27-1 and they made it to the state championship. In that game, Magic absolutely dominated and won the game in OT, scoring 34 points. Magic was subsequently named a McDonald's All-American and was later named one of the top All-Americans of all time. Magic was offered scholarships to Indiana and UCLA, 2 powerhouses, but decided he wanted to stay close to home and was between Michigan and Michigan State. He ultimately chose Michigan State because head coach Judd Heathcote told him that he could play point guard despite being the height of a 4 or even a center. Despite not believing that he would play basketball professionally, Magic dominated in his freshman year, averaging 17 points and 8 assists a game. Michigan State won the Big Ten that year and made it to the Elite Eight before losing to eventual champion Kentucky. Magic was revamped and prepared to go further in the tournament and win it the next year. Michigan State went 26-6 and was ranked number 3 in the AP poll. The Spartans advanced all the way to the championship where they would face Indiana State. Magic was regarded as one of the top 2 players in college basketball, the other being Larry Bird, who played for Indiana State. Bird and Magic were not the best of friends as they saw each other as the inhibitor to the other's success. The game was a thriller that attracted many fans who were interested in seeing 2 of the best players in college basketball face off. Magic and the Spartans won that game 75-64, and he won Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four, scoring 53 points in 2 games. After 2 seasons, Magic declared for the NBA draft. Magic was drafted first overall by the Los Angeles Lakers. He was able to play alongside Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, arguably the best player in the league at that time. Many thought Magic should play forward because of his height and because the Lakers already had a talented point guard in Norm Nixon. However, Magic played point, and the Lakers went 60-22 and made it to the NBA Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers. However, Kareem, who had just won MVP that season, sprained his ankle and was out for Game 6. The Lakers opted to use Magic's height to make him play the complete opposite position than he usually plays, center. Magic had absolutely no struggle at his new position and scored 42 points and collected 15 rebounds as the Lakers won the championship. Already a great story, and given the Lakers what they wanted, Magic was not done yet. Magic's sophomore season was injury-riddled as he missed 45 games due to torn cartilage, and the Lakers lost in the first round in an upset to the Rockets. After the season, the Lakers offered Magic the largest contract in sports history at that point, a 25-year, $25 million contract. Magic, though, had issues with coach Paul Westhead as he felt he inhibited the offense and demanded a trade from the Lakers until owner Jerry Buss fired Westhead. While this might have seemed like bad PR for Magic, the Lakers promoted assistant coach Pat Riley to head coach, and the Lakers have never looked back. The Lakers beat the Sixers in the finals again in 6 games, but were swept by them the next year after they acquired Moses Malone. One issue that GM Jerry West saw was that the team essentially had 2 playmakers, Magic and Nixon, and felt that the Lakers were not getting the most out of either. Add on the fact that West particularly disliked Nixon and believed he was doing cocaine, Nixon was traded, giving Magic complete control of the offense. The Lakers met the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, pitting Magic against his old college rival Larry Bird. The Lakers were down 3 in Game 7, and Magic had the rock, but Dennis Johnson stole the ball and the Celtics won. Magic was distraught that he had turned the ball and the series over, and talked with friends Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre the entire night about the loss. Magic had his revenge, and the Lakers beat the Celtics in 6 games. The Lakers looked to repeat. However, the young Houston Rockets beat the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Magic, once again, was ready to avenge his loss. Magic won his first MVP award after averaging 24 points and 12 assists and leading the Lakers to 65 wins. The Lakers faced the Celtics for a third and final time in the finals, where the Lakers won in 6. This was peak Magic Johnson. But what Magic did off the court was probably not the most moral thing, but very interesting. See, Magic loved to have women around him, and women loved to be around him. Teammates feared Magic, but not him personally, but the fact that whenever Magic entered the Forum Club, all the attention of women would go towards him. Women would follow him to the Lakers hotel, and dozens would try to get into his room. Women were all around Magic wherever they could be. Magic also threw giant house parties with tons of celebrities, and because he's, well, Magic Johnson, women. Unlike his teammates though, Magic did not have a drug addiction, at least that we know of, but that's probably because his true addiction was women. Many think that it was ludicrous that Wilt Chamberlain claims to have been with 20,000 women. Well, Magic usually was with 12 to 15 a night. So thus it is possible that Magic achieved over 3 times the number that Wilt claimed in just his NBA career. Probably not the greatest thing to do on planet Earth, but something that will definitely make you wonder how that's even possible. But going back to his basketball career, Magic and the Lakers were on top of the world. Coach Riley promised that the Lakers would defend their title, and they did make it back to the finals, where they would meet the Detroit Pistons and Magic's friend Isaiah Thomas. It was a tough-fought series, but Thomas could not get off a shot as Magic potentially tripped him. The Lakers repeated as champions, and Magic won his 5th title. At this point, while Magic was still in his prime, much of the Lakers' core had become old or left the team, putting extra weight on Magic to perform. And he did, and he won his 2nd MVP and made it to the finals for a rematch with the Pistons. Magic got a hamstring injury in Game 2 and played only a few minutes the rest of the series. The Pistons avenged their loss and swept the Lakers. Kareem retired after this season, making Magic the leader in the locker room. Magic won another MVP the following season, but the Lakers disappointed in the playoffs and lost in the 2nd round to the Suns. Pat Riley resigned, and only Magic, James Worthy, and Byron Scott were left from the Showtime era. Magic himself was slowing down, as he was entering his early 30s and was not as quick, and his scoring has declined. Despite this, Magic carried the Lakers to the 1991 NBA Finals, where they met a new foe in town, the Chicago Bulls, looking for their first championship. While many saw the series as a battle between Magic and Michael Jordan, Magic instead was guarded by Scottie Pippen, who gave Magic a tough time. The Lakers lost this series in 5 games. Magic was ready to give it another go for the 1992 season, but in a physical he had noticed something was off. Magic did not play the first few games of the season, and many were wondering why. This was the point where his personal life, mentioned earlier, intersected with his career. On November 7th of 1991, Magic had a press conference.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers.
Hey guys, this is Noah. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys like the video, drop a like. If you guys want to see more from Phenom on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. And also make sure to check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Hey guys.